This is Wisp Prime, and we are going to attempt to make her more powerful. We are going to attempt to make her more powerful by using the yellow, red, and blue Archon Shards. Now it's worth noting that this will work on normal Wisp as well as Wisp Prime, but we have Wisp Prime, so that's who we are using. It is worth noting that you will need access to the helmet system for this, as well as the Archon Shards system that helmet provides. I have a video going over how to actually unlock the helmet system if you need to unlock the system. Now, as for abilities, I did replace her 2 with silence, but you can honestly replace it with anything you want, or just even not replace it at all. It's a personal preference, because what you actually need is the Archon Shards system. As you can see, I have 5 Talford Archon Shards. Now, they aren't required to all be Talford. I just happen to like the idea of them being Talford. I went for health, casting speed, ability strength, and ability strength. That's just a personal preference. As you can see, these are all of Wisp Prime abilities that we have on her as of right now. And as for the build, this is what I have. Corrosive Projection, Fused Ravager. Now, see, this ability, this actually can go in an Exodus mod slot because it cuts a bit more energy, but it lets her have a 4th one that gives all 3 of them at the same time, which is very helpful in many ways for her one. And of course, continuity, prime flow, so she can store energy. Umbral intensify for strength, because strength is what actually helps determine how fast you can make her haste, as well as how much health per second. So that's actually fairly important. Prime sure-footed is a personal preference. If you really don't care, you can actually replace it with something like adaptation, which will be just fine for you there. You know, wind damage, resist, that type. But I like being able to resist knockdown chance. That's just me. Umbral, vitality. It pairs well with Umbral intensify. Very well, actually. And then we have Naira's hatred. In order to acquire this mod, you will need to have completed the new war, just to let you know that. And then we have Prime Vigor, which is a login reward mod. So if you don't have Prime Vigor unlocked, eventually you will get Prime Vigor, as it is a login reward mod. And stretch. If you really don't mind modding, I mean modding as in formatting this quite a few more times, you can actually trade out stretch for Archon stretch to get a little bit extra energy. So yeah, if you don't mind doing the whole formatting this Again, that's what you can do. I personally opted not to do that. I'm using Arcane Blessing and Arcane Energize, but really, it's up to you. This build doesn't even need Arcanes. I just like them because it makes everything a bit easy. As many of you guys know, I am a big fan of survival missions, so I thought we should potentially do a survival mission in the Still Path. Now this is infested enemy, so technically this isn't the best example in the world because they do drain a lot of energy, and they do have gas, which kind of the toxin gas eats away at health, which is pretty annoying, but it's okay. As long as you do jump every once in a while, you're good to go. And the best thing about this build, it does not use up a lot of energy. And your flower just happen to stay indefinitely, so you're pretty much good to go. As long as you make sure to stay an okay distance away from the infested, you are good. Unfortunately, the infested can actually wreck you pretty easily since you are more of a health frame versus a shield frame. So yeah, that is a bit of a pickle there. Now I know what you're thinking. Why do I have primed flow on at all if it's not much of a energy frame? Well, that's because I like to have fun and use other abilities every now and again. And I like being able to cast flowers whenever I want. And, you know, use silence, which is the ability I chose. Yeah. To replace it with. And yeah, this actually is going pretty well. Pretty well indeed, I think. Yeah, you just need to make sure to have a good primary or secondary weapon. As you can see, I did bring flowers with me to here. That's just perfect. The enemies are going away. I went to a new area. And I'm actually doing some low-key parkour. And the good thing is, thanks to the whole casting speed is actually up thanks to the whole casting speed arcane that I have here. Okay, actually, this is one of my favorite rooms. I didn't realize that it was there. Also, about the Archon, yeah, this isn't necessarily the best against him. I mean, it does okay, but it's not really the best against him at all, this build. But luckily, that's where a good weapon comes in handy. Yeah. That is where a good weapon to shoot him comes in handy. In case you're wondering, I was using my secondary kit gun. I have a video where I go into detail about what parts I used to make this secondary kit gun. That's what I used to kill the Acolyte with. And sure enough, we completed the mission. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward, and yeah, If I had any final thoughts, it would probably be that you aren't the tankiest with this build, but you aren't the most glass cannon either. You're kind of in the middle. You're a good mixture of support as well as you can dish out some damage. So you're kind of a hybrid with this build. Alternatively, you could replace this with something like Octavia's Resonance and have them follow a rolling ball instead and take them out that way. And yeah, there's just a number of things you can do. But this build is very fun to use. If you use Wisp at all, I recommend trying it in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, with that said, I will catch you guys in the future. Later.